All right. First rule of this channel is we do not talk about this channel. Second rule of this channel is this is not legal advice. So one of the first things to remember is that stats can lie to your face. For instance, a good defense may have low statistical passing numbers because they can't stop the run. On the other hand, a team with a good offense and a high pace of play is going to have worse defensive numbers because they keep giving the ball back to their defense because they keep scoring. One of the first thoughts I have every week is how can I go back and look at who I played and figure out, should I have known something better? Like, should I have played this defense? Could I have predicted that that wide receiver was going to outperform this wide receiver? I usually tend to stick with the capital that I paid for until they make me not trust them. I always try and go with like the number one option in offenses. And I only roll the number twos out on good offenses against good matchups. That's kind of just good rules of thumb on everything. 1 year I did consider benching Alvin Kamara when he finishes like running back 2 overall. It was the COVID game where the Broncos, all their quarterbacks were ruled out, and they had to take Hinton, I think it was his name, and roll him a college or converted college quarterback into wide receiver and make him play quarterback. And my co-manager overruled me, said I was being cute, but in that case, the logic being that the Saints were going to win the game without Kamara, and we weren't going to get the points that week, and that's what happened. So that's just the thought process behind some of this stuff. So anyway, to start this off with the Broncos Chiefs game last night, I haven't really watched anything on it, really taken apart the box score yet. I'll do that on Sunday night. But Justin Watson, the downfield contested catch role, that's what he was doing. He's out right now with a dislocated elbow. Those targets are going to be vacated, and I would not be surprised if they go to, say, Rashee Rice, who I think had like 49% snaps. That would be kind of the role that I would envision him to be playing, is this contested catch yak guy. So hopefully you stashed Rashee Rice, because I'm sure he'll be at the top of all waiver wire lists this week. So anyway, moving forward, weather. The only games I kind of think are interesting from a weather standpoint may be these rain games, likely showers in Browns 49ers, and we'll get to them in a second, and likely rain showers in Giants Bills. So just something to be aware of. Pace of play this week for fantasy pros. Eagles, Rams, Jaguars fast. Jets, Titans, Buccaneers slow. And we'll get a little bit more into that. So Vegas lines on points this week. To start off with Ravens, Titans. They're at 42 combined points. I believe it's Ravens by 4. And this is just a game I probably don't want any part of. No bueno. It's the London game, variable, jet lag. Who knows what's going to happen? Probably a very slow pace of play. Both these teams can stop the run, and that's probably what Tennessee likes to do. It's also what Baltimore likes to do. And when I say I'm not playing anybody, like if I can get away with not playing Lamar Jackson or Mark Andrews, something to think about. I'm not rolling Lamar Jackson for his passing upside against the Titans. I want him for the rushing upside. I don't know how the game script is going to go. It's probably going to be slow. And if I can get away from the variable of that London game, knowing that this is probably not going to have a lot of points scored, that's probably something I would like to do. Let's see. Commanders, Falcons are next. The Falcons are going to grind this game to a halt. That's what they usually do, and limit the passing. Probably a Brian Robinson game for the Commanders, based off of what I could understand the game script to be, slower. No one's going to jump off to a big lead. The Falcons, I think, are good. I have the stats pulled up right here. The Falcons are middle third of the rushing defenses, so I could see Washington try and get away with it. And this is also maybe a Drake London, Kyle Pitts game, because the Commanders defense has not been as good this year as we kind of thought that they were going to be. They're at the bottom. Where are they at? Someplace. They're at the bottom of the passing. Oh, because I'm on the wrong side. they're on the bottom of the passing defenses. So I can maybe see that the Falcons can get away with a little bit more passing, and that the Washington Commanders are going to get away with a little bit more running. It means B-Rob's going to be in the game more, have a higher snap percentage, and Antonio Gibson's not. Let's see, moving on. Vikings Bears this week. Roshan's out. Khalil Herbert went to the IR. Probably a Donta Foreman week. I'm rolling out everybody to offenses that may be good if we can believe Justin Fields. They're not good. Their defenses are, or excuse me, their offenses are good. Their defenses are not good. So Cole Kmet, those ancillary pieces can be rolled out like a KJ Osborne. Obviously, Addison and Hawk are being rolled out. You might be able to get away with one more week of Madison before that running back by the committee with Akers really, occurs. Let's see. Seahawks Bengals. If the Bengals are back, if they're a good offense, everybody in this one. T. Higgins is questionable, but he got a full practice in Friday. Like I said, I'm betting the Bengals are back right now. I think that's a good way to be projecting things. Even some of the cute plays or something that I could think about, if Higgins is out, you could think about like Boyd or Irwin. If he's in the game, I wouldn't think about either those two guys as cute plays. Coming out of the bye, you have JSN and Noah Fant and Jake Bobo that could be cute plays for the Seahawks in deeper leagues. Moving on, 49ers Browns. I want nothing to do with this game whatsoever. The weather, the Browns may have the best defense in football. I actually have in my notes right here that I wouldn't be surprised if this is one of the CMC 40-degree days that he's going to roll out there. I would have preferred Deshaun Watson, obviously, but I think PJ Walker is a serviceable enough quarterback. He's played in the league before, probably understands that he just needs to manage the game to give them the best chance to win. I have the week 4 games with that Browns defense. Pulled up the wrong one. Week 4 game with the Browns defense where they limited the Ravens to 289 yards total offense. Lamar Jackson had 186 yards through the air, did throw 2 touchdowns. He also had 27 yards on the ground. I would kind of guess that it's going to be a similar game script for the 49ers. If the 49ers cannot generate the turnovers that Baltimore did, Baltimore had 3 picks on DTR. It's going to just be a very ugly game to predict. The 49ers passing attack between Kittle, Ayuk, and Debo is always difficult to pick a winner. And then you throw it on top of that it may not even be a McCaffrey week. They all may have these down weeks. I want to stay away from it. And then on the Brown side, I definitely don't want anything to do with any of the Browns. I was going to think about rolling Ford out for his passing upside if Watson's there. But again, with PJ Walker, I don't know if I would even trust that. But I do think this is going to be a very ugly game in the rain, and I think that's kind of predictive. So moving on from there, the Saints, Texans. Saints are going to grind this game down. Texans offense, while I do like it, I think it's not going to be as many implied points. That's what Vegas tends to think too. 42 points is on the lower end. It's not super low. Someone posted this in one of the comments about whether or not I was interested or I was worried about Lattimore shadowing Nico. And my thought on this from a fantasy perspective is good teams put their best players in good positions to win. If the Texans can't do that, you have a bigger problem with Nico than just being shadowed 1 week by Lattimore. So would I be thinking about rolling Tank Dell and Robert Woods and Dalton Schultz out? Well, first of all, Tank Dell and Robert Woods are questionable this week. So you got to stop on and check that out. But again, I think this is going to be a slower pace of play game. The Saints are good against the run. I have those stats if you're interested in looking at that. The Saints are bottom quarter or top quarter of the league in stopping the run. So it may not be a Pierce week. And if it's slow and they stop the run, they're going to limit the amount of opportunities Pierce has in the red zone to score. Same thing with all the Texans pieces. So I would probably, if I like Nico, I'm going to roll Nico. If I don't like Nico, then I'm not going to roll Nico out. Same thing. I don't think Tank Dell week, Robert Woods week, it's probably not going to be a very high scoring game because the Saints don't need to. And from the perspective of the Saints, I didn't see anything on Olave's toe. Michael Thomas is going to be overall have a capped ceiling. Obviously Kamara is still rollable, but like the ancillary pieces, I'm not going to probably be excited to be rolling out in this game. Let's see. Colts Jaguars. This is one of those everybody games. Vegas has them at like 44.5. I kind of would even think that this could be higher because Minshew's a sneaky play this week I've been talking about. Zay Jones is out, so there's those vacated targets to go to other Jags like Ridley, ETN, Ingram, and Kirk. The Colts and the Jags both are bad against the pass. And again, if you're wondering, I can pull those stats up for you. There's the Colts and there's Jacksonville, and they're like bottom 6 in the league. I'm not going to guess who plays between Jonathan Taylor and Zach Moss. I would say they're in the realm of high-end flex plays and boom bust RB2s. I have written down, I think they both can get there in the same game if you're curious. So, all my pieces I'm rolling out, Josh Downs. One of the sneaky ones, and I have this pulled up, if I can find it, is Andrew Ogletree. If you want to get cute and sneaky and throw him in this week for all the pieces, Tennessee last week, against Tennessee last week, he was up to 61% snaps. So if you're following the trend and you're trying to be predictive, snaps go up in a game against not a good defense. This could be his week to have that breakout. Let's see. Moving forward, Panthers, Dolphins. The only Panther that I would even consider rolling out this week outside of the ghost of Adam Thielen is Chuba Hubbard. Miles Sanders has been ruled out. I probably don't want any part of this game. You can see that there's a lot of implied points between these two teams, 47.5, but 2 touchdown favorites for the Dolphins. So I want all my Dolphins pieces to roll out there. I have written down in my notes, this is going to be the town of Blowoutsville. Jeff Wilson is now doubtful. So Salvon Ahmed, if you're desperate, you could probably roll him out there in that running back 2 slot. Because when A-Chain and Mostert were going together, they were both fantasy relevant. So you might be sneaky and be able to throw him out there. Also another sneaky thing to pay attention to is if Chase Claypool is active, throwing him out there to get ahead of his usage in this offense would be interesting. I haven't seen anything on him being active, or if you're too squeamish to be that cute, stash him on the bottom of the bench if he's active. Because again, this is probably not a guy that's going to play special teams. If he's going, he's going to get snaps. Let's see. Pats Vegas are 41.5 points. 2 bad defenses. That's why the point total's like higher than expected. I would limit my pieces in this one. Like, again, bad versus bad. Jacoby Myers and Josh Jacobs are a go. Maybe this is a week to roll out Ramondre. I have no idea what's going on with the situation between him and Zeke. Brett Coleman on YouTube released a video talking about how bad the Patriots offense is. I think he kind of undersold it a little bit. And I'm a little concerned with Adams in this game because the Patriots do tend to try to just take away the number 1 of the other team and say win it with other pieces. And another sneaky cute play this week, and I talked about him, is Michael Mayer in this game. He was up to 66% snaps last week. So again, if the Patriots are going to take away Devontae Adams, those vacated targets would go someplace else. They may not all go to Jacoby Myers. It may be a Michael Mayer week if you're desperate at the tight end position. Let's see. Lions, Buccaneers next. I'm probably avoiding deeper Lions plays like Reynolds and Gibbs. Gibbs is out anyway. I just don't think there's going to be a lot of points in this one. You have a slower pace of play Buccaneers team going up against still a pretty okay Buccaneers defense. So our expectations that the Lions are going to score a lot of points may not be there. And I'm probably rolling out all the Bucks in this game that I can. Mike Evans was a full go on Friday, but I think Otten, the tight end, and Palmer, the rookie wide receiver, are all sneaky cute plays in this game. Because, in my mind, if the Bucks try and take away the number 1 options for if the line is trying to take away the number one options for the Bucks, those opportunities are going to go someplace else. Otten and Palmer were already trending in that direction. Let's see. Cardinals and Rams I have next. 48.5 points. Again, can kind of be deceiving. The Cardinals are 7-point underdogs in this game. So I'll be rolling out my pieces that I can. Keontae Ingram has no designation right now. Dear Mercado, I think he's probably still the guy to play, especially because if the Rams can put up points, the Cardinals will be chasing, and I think he's more of the passing down guy. But if I paid for him, I'm going to roll him out. He's the guy that I think I would be more interested in overall. I think Keontae Ingram's role may be limited to some of that grinder work if he does play. Hollywood Brown is questionable. Michael Wilson could still be in play regardless, but if Hollywood is a little under the weather because he's been dealing with an injury, those could be potentially predictable targets that need to go someplace else. Even though I do think that Michael Wilson's overall ceiling may be capped, but he's a guy that you could be thinking to roll out there because of the implied point total. All right, Eagles and Jets. I'm rolling out my Jets pieces, Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall. Obviously, the Eagles are going to have Jalen Carter, their rookie defensive tackle, out, and Darius Slay, their number one corner, both out. So if Garrett Wilson can get it done, it's this week. He couldn't get it done last week. Sometimes just like bad matchups. Don't overthink it. Roll your guys. And again, Goddard, AJ Brown, Devonta Smith. One of them's probably at least one of them's not going to get theirs this week. It's going to be difficult to decide which one of those guys it's going to be. If I paid for him, I'm going to roll him out. Swift, yeah, he's been performing well enough. I would roll him out, and especially with the design, or I shouldn't say design, the passing work that he's been getting, he probably is still going to have a relatively safe floor. Giants Bills on Sunday night. Saquon is questionable. So is Darren Waller. Danny Dimes is out. I don't know if Tyrod Taylor is an upgrade or a downgrade at this point. They're almost as bad as the Patriots are. Maybe Waller if you have to. Dawson Knox or Kincaid, they're both questionable. If one can play, then maybe they're a sneaky streamer option. I'm still rolling Gabe Davis. And I'm not going to roll any of the Bills running backs because I don't think they're predictive in this one. And then finally, we have the Cowboys and the Chargers, 51 implied points. So this is another one of those hey, let's roll everybody out there. I don't know about this game because I can see the game script going in a lot of different directions based off of just how these two teams have performed. The Cowboys may not need their offense because they can just shut down the Chargers' offense. The Chargers are really bad on defense, but the Cowboys did not look good against the 49ers, so maybe they're not going to be as good as we think. So I could see this being a really ugly game. I could see this being a shootout. It's going to be really difficult to tell based off of this. Quentin Johnson, I think, still is kind of a sneaky play because he's coming out of that bye week and his usage in the offense can be schemed up a little bit more this week going against a good Cowboys defense. So I could maybe see rolling him out there. And again, this may be a shootout. So if you have some of those deeper pieces, Josh Palmer, not interested, but you could think about him, and Brandon Cooks and Michael Gallup. Again, Jake Ferguson, I think, is a go for me because the Chargers have one of the worst linebacking cores in all of football. That would be the guy that they would have covering Ferguson. So anyway, that's about all I've got for today. I don't think I have anything else I really want to talk about. So hopefully you can take this information and set your lineup.